Hey everybody, welcome.
Hey, good morning, my sweet frosty friends. I'm coming at you this morning from Lake Erie, Ohio, doing a little short. I got 2 of the 3 C's with me over here this morning, and I thought we'd have a quick little talk. You know how I am. I like to say things that's in my head and on my heart. I'm sitting here healing. Everything's going good. You know, surgery went good and everything. And we're sutured up. We're sore, but we're healing. And this is good, and I'll probably do a video on that because I've decided I'm probably going to share a little more about that. But I'm sitting here this morning, and I realized, you know, it's coming up on a month since I started doing a Frosty Peach. And, you know, that's real exciting for me. And I was laying in bed this morning, and I thought, you know, I think that it's time that I share, you know, what the reason why I'm doing this, and, you know, kind of how it came about. So we're going to do that this morning. So, you know, I've said, you know, in a lot of my episodes, you know, that I have an inner monologue that constantly goes in my head. And that is extremely true. An inner monologue goes, I talk to myself all the time. Oh yeah, I'll just tell you, I mean, I'm going to sound crazy. Maybe I am crazy. But I talk to myself all the time. I answer myself all the time too. I have a full-on conversation with myself. That's how I process things. And I know I ain't the only person that does it. So if you do that, talk to me about it. Because I'd be real interested in knowing how that works for you, right? So anyway, I'm, you know, constantly thinking, having that inner monologue going on. And it's been real strong since, I'd say, around the pandemic. And God, I can't believe that's already been like, what, 5 years, 6 years? That's insane. But, you know, so I think it kind of started around that time. I started seeing a shift, you know, in people. And in some ways it was a good thing, in some ways it was a bad thing. But I like to be positive here on the Frosty Peach, you know, and I like to, but I want to be real too, because I'm authentic and I'm a real person. You know, this ain't a bunch of psychology, you know, like BS. I believe in psychology. I actually have a psychology degree. And I've always been very interested in behavior and psychology. And I actually dabbled. I have cat hair on my nose. But I've actually kind of dabbled in the whole like life coach, you know, realm thing. And it's something that I think I've wanted to do for a long time. I don't like that word, life coach, at all. Because it kind of has a negative connotation to it a lot of times. But I do like to talk to people, and I like to help people. I think that's real important for me, especially now at this stage in my life. And coming back around to that, you know, I feel that I have been needing to say things for a long time. Not that I bottled it up or held it back. It's just been inside, and I just haven't done anything with it. And that's what the Frosty Peach is I'm kind of letting all this out, you know. And when I started this, you know, I picked up my old pen and paper doing this old school, because the past really 3 years, it's really gotten louder and louder in my head. And a lot of that loudness has calmed down in a sense. And it became that quiet intuition that we talk about. So I'm sitting here one morning, I'm having coffee, and I'm just thinking about all this. I'm saying, what does the world need? You know, like I'm reading all this on the internet, and it's so negative, and people are just so mean to each other and stuff. You know, it's just terrible. But it's funny because I think, well, that's just the way the world is. That's the way the world works. And maybe that's true to a point. But then, you know what, people? When I moved to this little country town here, and I call it, it's a city, but it feels like a country town. You know, after you've lived in places like Nashville and Cincinnati and cities and stuff like that. And, you know, I realized that ain't true, man. If you get out and you talk to people, people are people. You may not agree with everything they say, and they may not agree with everything you say, but people are people. And I think I'm kind of going back to my old self a little bit, and I'm trying not to be as cynical as I was for a while. And, you know, love people again, you know, because we get frustrated when we hear all the noise, and man, why do they make shirts like this, right? And they fall off shoulder. But they are kind of cute. Anyway, so I just, you know, realized that we need a lot of unity in this world. You know, what does the world need? Love, sweet love. Love, sweet love. But you get my drift, right? And it's true. It sounds cliche and everything, but it is true. We need a lot of love in this world right now. We really do. And we need unity in this world. And we need to learn to find that common ground. And I think that is what really led me to the Frosty Peach. And the reasons why I'm doing this. And, you know, this is not, you know, a bunch of hogwash that I'm reading off the internet. I do my research. And I talk about what's in my head and what's in my heart. You know, but I do it with research. You know, I back what I say up. Everything I say can be backed up. And I'm saying this because this is really growing and becoming a passion. And I'll just get to the crux of it here, because I know I'm real bad about beating around the bush, probably more than anybody. But, you know, this is a true passion for mine, and I realize that I am actually a tech. I love technology. You guys see I have gaming videos and stuff like that because I enjoy it. We got Chetty Man over here. I think he's wanting to get in the camera. You want to get in the camera, buddy? You can get in the camera? Yeah. And as much as I love that, I think the time has come for me to kind of shift. Almost not the camera now. I think it's time for me to start shifting, and I think it's time for me to start following my dreams and following my passion, and maybe, just maybe, something that I'm meant to do. I actually feel like I have a talent for this, and I feel like that it's starting to help people a little bit. I've had some people come to me, you know, and talk to me a little bit, saying how much they like my videos and how much that it, you know, that they get from it. And that's amazing to me. That's just crazy, because, you know, like I said, I'm kind of doing it for myself, you know, learning how to be more vulnerable. And that's what this is, just what this Frosty Peach is about. And I'm gonna take a quick sip of coffee because my fasting's done. Yes, I am fasting right now. And I want you guys to know, this is who I am. I do my research on these topics. I pick things that I feel like are on my heart that I need to get out, talk to you folks about, right? So, talk to me. Share in the comments what you need help with, what you just want to talk about. It ain't even about needing help, because, we all have things, but sometimes we want to hear encouragement about something, or we want to understand something a little bit better about ourselves, You don't have to be a train wreck to need help. And that's kind of where I get hung up sometimes too. And I'm not a therapist, but they say therapists have their own therapists. You know why they do that? Because they have self-awareness. And they know where their weaknesses are. They know what they need to work on. They know what they need that little boost with, right? So this is becoming a full-on episode. But I just wanted to pop on here and talk about this a little bit. There's more. I'm gonna go ahead and end it with I am not going anywhere. This is a passion of mine. I'm going full speed ahead with it. I'm going full speed ahead with it. This is going to be a full-on, path for me moving forward. This is something I'm like, good grief. This is going to be something that I'm going to do, hopefully, for the rest of my life. And, stay with me, guys. If you get anything out of this at all, give me that thumbs up and, ring the bell on YouTube. And I've always wanted to say that, but, it helps me out, encourages me, and, it puts me out there in the algorithm. But, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all your support. We're going to do this thing together. And like I said, I'm real, super excited about it. And join me. We're going to keep it going. We're doing that. We're keeping it frosty with that frosty knowledge. We're keeping it warm and full of love and compassion for other people here on the inside, right? All right. So, thank you so much. Y'all have a great, wonderful, blessed day. I'm healing. I'll be doing some more episodes here in the next week or so, so stay tuned. We always got something going on. Have a great, wonderful, blessed day. Peace out. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
He's just a little frosty.